on talk at Click Live. I really appreciate being here. Thank you so much to, obviously, Graphistudio, Fedwed for inviting me to talk on the stage. Really, really appreciate it. And yeah, Chris has just done an amazing talk. Thank you so much, Chris. Chris spoke lots about, like, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. I'm not going to tell you that you have to do something very niche. No, I'm not. I'm just going to introduce you to something super niche. And then if you want to take it away or you want to use it as inspiration to do something else, then you're welcome to do so. So, yeah, if you think of a question as we go, give us a wave and I can answer it on my way, I'm sure. So this is work me. So I feel like context-wise, it's really great to sort of know where I'm at. I really love talking about things like money, salary, what I'm earning and stuff. So if you want to talk about all that, that's fine. I feel like we should have a full transparent system in the UK where everyone knows what's going on with everything. So yeah, I do 30 to 40 weddings a year. They're all pretty local to me. So due to family reasons and climate reasons, I try to keep everything within like an hour of my house. Now, I am going down to the south coast a few times and up to Scotland, but it's very, very rare for me. I'm not necessarily a very exciting photographer. I tend to shoot more in sort of local venues where I'm recommended all the time. But by doing so, I'm still charging 2 to 2.5K in a city like Stoke-on-Trent, which is considered, yeah, right down there as such. But yeah, it's pretty nice if you like it as much as me. But yeah, I work alone. I use it as a massive USP of myself. And I've had 14 years experience and I'm 6 years full time at the moment. So yeah, I'll put my little Instagram and TikTok figures down below, not to make everyone feel bad or whatever. They're more so there as that's all organic reach. So my big thing is organic reach. I'm really into my social media, my Instagram, my TikTok and stuff, and using those platforms without any ads, money spent, and just using them as to the fullest potential to gain a following of, you know, more than sort of normal as such. So I'm seeing a note on screen now that says slow down. I've put that on every slide. So like I said before, this talk isn't going to be for everyone. But maybe you'll find something in it. So this is very much Adam-centric talk, and yeah, there's a lot of people out there that have done what I do with 360 cameras, and I've seen it and I've gone, it doesn't kind of look very them as such. I've gone down this pathway because this is very me. So maybe this inspires you to do something which is very you, and then we can kind of go from there. So, yeah, my big thing is behind the scenes footage. I film behind the scenes footage at every single wedding I go to using 360 cameras on top of my main body. I only shoot one camera at a wedding. This is exactly what I like at a wedding. Probably minus this shirt because I've just made some fashion improvements or improvements as such, negative improvements. So yeah, I film pretty much everything at my weddings to display this to everyone on my social medias as me. And we'll get a bit more into why I do that in a moment. But yeah, what's normally authentic for people to do at these events is show them a huge slideshow of photographs. Now my photographs, yeah, they're all right. You'll see some on the Graphistudio stand and that. But every year I do a behind the scenes show reel now. So yeah, you're just going to watch a huge video of me. So if it wasn't narcissistic enough just to show you photographs that I've done, I'm actually not going to show you that at all. I'm just going to show you a huge video of me at weddings. So yeah. Okay, everyone please put your hands together for Tom, the father of the bride.
Baby, and you put your love in arms around me. Baby, and you put your love in arms around me. Baby, and you put your love in arms around me. And you put your love in arms around me, around me, around me, around me, and you.
Don't want to play that again. Okay, so yeah, thank you for watching that and yeah, humouring me on that. So we're going to talk in 5 sections. So the first section was solving a problem. So we're going to come around to all the behind the scenes stuff and talk about that. So back in 2021, this is what my conventional Instagram post looked like. Landscape photo, nice little caption, no carousel, limited information, maybe a few tags and that. And I had a big realization at this point. So my problem was that my USP was not evident in my photographs. So my USP, as if you've not already guessed, is myself. So I sell my weddings on me being there and me being a part of your day and making it as special as possible. So yeah, that wasn't really evident in my photographs. So if you looked at this, you couldn't see the relationship that I had with Hannah and Dave. This was just a lovely photograph as a couple, and trying to communicate that through just a caption or something was really, really tough for me. So then the choice for couples was whose work is better. So when they're scrolling through Instagram and they're seeing pictures like this and they're seeing other people's pictures like this, then it becomes a competition of, is this photograph a photograph I like, or is this photograph a photograph I like? And I never really wanted to be in that competition scenario. I wanted to put myself almost in a separate pool of, you know, photography is almost like secondary, even though it's primary to what I do. And yeah, I was more the reason. So the solution ingredients I needed were, I wanted something that was going to show my USP more clearly, and I wanted something, you know, which would take away as much rivalry as possible. So I didn't want there to be any rivalry when it came to me competing for other work. And the answer, if you haven't already guessed it, was filming my own behind the scenes footage. This has been an absolute revelation to my business, and we're going to go through some reasons why. So it enabled me to be able to take parts like this on my website where I was really trying to squeeze so much personality into words, and then also give
It's the first wedding of
like
2024 where it actually spawns with Miles and Stacey. This wedding has an abundance of Adam Lowndes photography hero moments, as I do Miles's tie, give my belt to Stacey's brother, and then later on do loads of other things as well. Describing the weather as god-awful at the start of the day wouldn't have been too far from the truth. But we made the absolute most of it, and Stacey had the Doc Martens to go with the weather. Standard other moment where I dressed the bride, and then we're off to the ceremony. Probably one of the most emotional ceremonies I've been to. Loads of tears, loads of lovely moments as they said their own vows to each other, and it was just so great to be a part of. Following that, the weather gods answered my prayers and we're able to get outside for the big hug photos that always happens post-ceremony. I then noticed that Stacey didn't really want to hold the flowers anymore, so I offered to take them off her. I'm happy to help in any way on your wedding day, and if that means carrying around a bouquet to look like an honorary bridesmaid, yeah, go for it. The weather then turned again, so I used my Herbalife van to light all the portraits inside.
This guy's over there. Look at the silver testicle man.
Once again, the weather turned back around and we got blue skies and sun this time.
You are in the docks, aren't you?
Yeah, it's yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, very beautiful.
Cool.
With this being a February wedding, we didn't have long to take portraits, as the sun was going to set around 4 or 5 o'clock. But as is the way with wedding photography, you never know what's going to come. And I got this incredible sky for some great portraits post-dinner. Miles laid his best dance moves out on the dance floor, and we had a great little party to end the night on. Such a great day.
So I'm sure I don't need you to tell you, but like this is way more impactful than this. So if I can be able to show all my couples stuff like this that I do on a wedding day and other people can't, then that just puts me like right up there and in a totally different league when it comes to choosing a wedding photographer. So we're just going to walk through my behind the scenes gear and how I film everything. So these are the cameras I use. So full disclosure, Insta360 send me all my gear for free. Due to my following on TikTok, this is the kind of stuff you end up getting. You end up being one of these little influencers and you get stuff sent to you for free. Still, they're not sponsoring this talk. I'm talking about this because this is something I use literally every single wedding. There's a little QR code there if you wanted to scan that. At the moment, they're doing a free selfie stick with just my referral code. You won't get that with any of the X4s at the moment. But yeah, if you want to look at that later, you can go to my website. It's a little link at the end, and there's also a link to go through, and you can buy off a little affiliate link there. But if you want to buy it off eBay secondhand, perfectly fine as well. There's no issue with that. But yeah, these are the 2 models of camera I use. I've got them all here. So this here is an X3, so you can see it's pretty tiny. And then this here is the brand new X4 as such. They've got these little rubber lens hoods on top of them as such. So yeah, in terms of comparison height-wise, you can see one's slightly bigger than the other. And this exists on top of my camera all day. So I'm not really massive on tech, so we're just going to skim past that page now. So I use this mount here. This is a small rig mount. So Insta360, this creation of what I've kind of made in terms of filming behind the scenes footage within Insta360 products. There was a few people doing it before as such, and then I've kind of like just taken it and run with it. So Insta360 don't actually advertise this as a thing. They more so advertise to people who do snowboarding, sports, climbing and stuff. So I had to kind of find my own mount. So I use this monitor mount here. This is a small rig monitor mount, and this keeps things steady and changes it. I used to use a ball head that you would maybe find with more conventional lighting products and stuff that you could put on top of your hot shoe, but this here is what I'm kind of using now as such. Moving forward, so if you want a bit of a cheap option, this is what I started with. So yeah, everyone's got a smartphone. This is what, like £16 off Amazon as such. You just hook your smartphone up to the top of your camera and away you go. It's really that simple. I filmed so much behind the scenes footage on this before I went over to the Insta360 products. And with Insta360 products being like £500 and this being 16, this is a great way to sort of like test the waters if you want to do a bit of behind the scenes filming with your wedding photography. So, just a little bit of a comparison, just in case you didn't know. So, the X range here, so you get a full 360 view. So, if you imagine, I'm just going to hook this up 1 second. So you can see here now, this is literally what my camera looks like all day, so it can look slightly a bit strange as such. People think I've got an aerial on top of it, or I'm transmitting their photos live to the cloud straight away. Yeah, and then that sits on my spider holster here as such all day long. But yeah, so this films full 360 degrees, so this is filming Steve in front of me right now, but then it would also be filming me behind, and that is the key here, that I want everything captured, and I'm as much as a part of the story when it comes to creating the reels and such for my Instagram as they are as such, and I can give full instruction to all my couples and show that afterwards as well. When it comes to recording, it's literally just one. This is where I thought I was going to have like a radio marker, such like get it tangled now. It's literally one button on the back here, and then one button to turn off. So when it comes to big moments like confetti or anything like that, I'll literally just hit this button here, and I'll show you this in a minute, and then I'll hit it at the end of it. It's super, super simple, and like I say, you're capturing absolutely everything. So it actually auto horizons. So whether I've got it this way, 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 on my belt here, it's always going to auto horizon the footage, and it's going to display it for you when it comes around to editing as straight on. So I can be moving the camera everywhere. I could be walking away like this, and the couple will be walking behind me, and I might capture something behind me. So there's always opportunities to sort of get extra footage when you're not even paying attention. It's super discreet. Like I say, not many people really know what I'm doing. You can reframe to portrait, landscape, square. You can do whatever you want with it. The whole 360 degree of the footage is kind of what you get. And then, yeah, the audio quality for me here it would just be incredible. You can hear exactly what I'm saying. So like I say, if I'm giving instructions out to my couple, you can hear me super clearly. If my couple, say for where you guys are over there, it's really easy to hear them as well. But yeah, negative, it's a bit of an expensive initial outlay. So I'm just going to hook my smartphone up and show you the exact same thing. Pause for dramatic effect. So if I was using my smartphone with this bracket, this is how it would look. Now straight away as I come to shoot portrait, this switches to landscape, and straight away as I do that, it misses all of the action straight away. So this camera has to always be up like that, filming everything straight on, whereas like I say, the Insta360 down there would capture everything, and it just does an incredible job of it. There's no reframing possible, so like I said before, if you're shooting in portrait like that, and then you switch, if you're shooting in landscape, and it's capturing the video in portrait, and then you switch like that, you have to actually manually turn the phone around so that it captures it good enough for social media, reels, shapes and sizes. Yeah, so it's a minimal initial outlay. So like I've already said, it's only 16 quid, so you can get started with it pretty easy. The audio quality is only as good when it's on the camera. So if something's happening far away, it's not as good. And then there's no reframing in post, so if I film it that way, I can't really switch it around to portrait because the quality would just be too bad as such. But like I've said before, this can be a great initial way to get into it. So I'm just going to run through a few behind the scenes ideas, show you a few videos that I've created and show you the power of them. So this is something that I started off doing more regularly. These are full day vlogs, so this shows the entirety of a wedding day from start to finish. My couples absolutely adore these. Making these is an absolute task. It takes forever. Can take me up to half a day, maybe even a bit longer to edit all the little bits of footage down. On the wedding day, these are more tasking because if there's a particularly harder moment on a wedding day, it can get in the way. And you can get to the end of it and think, oh, I didn't capture any behind the scenes footage. But like I say, my couples watch these back repeatedly throughout the year.
14 years ago, I had one of my first paid photography gigs, and it was here at Sandon Hall. Therefore, every time I've come back to Sandon since then, I've had the most incredible time, as it just feels like I'm returning home, really.
What's about there, Alec?
This time, it was for the wedding of Beth and Ollie, and the way they actually came round to booking me as their wedding photographer was quite unique, really. Way back when Beth and Ollie were first planning their wedding, Ollie took the initiative to look for loads of wedding photographers and managed to narrow the list down to just 3 wedding photographers, which he then passed over to Beth to gain her insight on. Now, if you've ever planned a wedding yourself, you'll understand that you can't plan a wedding every hour of the day. It's almost like having a second full-time job. It can be incredibly overwhelming. Now, whether Beth wants to use that excuse or another one, I'm not really sure, but she never actually looked at Ollie's shortlist of wedding photographers. Instead, 3 months later, Beth was actually decompressing from the day she'd had at work, just scrolling through TikTok like we've all done at some point, and came across a vlog very similar to this. Beth then approached Ollie and said, Ollie, I found an amazing wedding photographer all on TikTok. Check this guy out. And if you haven't guessed it already, that wedding photographer was me. Ollie then proceeded to let Beth know that he'd actually sent her my website 3 months ago. So, yeah, Beth and Ollie found me and loved me both individually in their own unique ways. Now, if that's not the biggest argument to book someone for your wedding that I've ever heard, I don't really know what is. As you can imagine, their day went off without a hitch. We had such an incredible time. Lucky for us also that the weather was actually playing ball and didn't actually start raining till it went dark. As well as loving their photos, you should actually really like your wedding photographer that you book. I know it seems strange to say that, as they are a supplier after all, but it really makes you feel more comfortable in front of the camera if you actually like the person. This energy and care for the person then spills off into all of your family and friends. So you know all those natural and candid photographs that you just are dying to get in your wedding photography gallery? Well, they'll come a lot easier if you get on with your wedding photographer. So there you have it, one of my best tips for booking a wedding photographer. Massive thanks to Beth and Ollie for trusting me. What a day.
So you'll notice with that it's very much geared towards like everyone. So there's a bit in there for photographers, there's a bit in there for future clients, there's a bit in there for Beth and Ollie as well. So I really try and make my targeting super broad when it comes to shooting these behind the scenes videos and what I talk about over the top of them. I never want to talk about things like f-stops, shutter speeds or things like that. If people want me to get into more of that detail, that's kind of where I would do that on TikTok and more kind of specialized videos. But when it comes to my Instagram, I keep that all client focused and really baseline interests. So next up, I do smaller videos, which are all around portraits. So these are really popular with my couples. They love to see how the creative process happens. For me, it's really important that my couples know that when we come to do a portrait shoot, they know what that looks like, so that on the day when I'm asking them to run, they go, oh yeah, I'm going to run because Tim and Shaw ran. Or if I'm asking them to stand on chairs, they go, yeah, for sure, because I saw that couple do it the other week ago. Whereas if we're just showing the end product photo, it's really hard for people to see what makes that a lot of the time. So yeah, just a quick one on here. Just come here for me. You're just going to do the frolicking. You're just going to walk from there towards me. Oh, this is really nice, yeah. Should we do a rod?
Yeah.
Like towards me?
Yeah.
Too much, Tim, too much. Right, go again, go back. Cool. Try and keep it like close together, yeah? Right, dress, ready? Go.
Big smiles. Don't look at me, Tim. Right, that's all
It's much more revealing than you might.
Awesome. So yeah, I don't normally dress that way. That's my brother-in-law's wedding. So yeah, moving on. So
Do you want this on your phone? Yeah.
So this is one that I love to show. This is key for like behind the scenes and showing the extra bits that I do on a wedding day, where it's like interaction with the couple. So anything I do on the wedding day, and at this point, I'm going to borrow Lucy's brother's phone because I saw him taking some photos on his iPhone earlier, and I'm going to ask him if he wants a photo for himself. And this is really key to show, you know, exactly the extra bits I do on a wedding day ahead of everyone else there. So.
Do you want this on your phone? Yeah. Yeah. I'll do it on mine and then get it later and then I'll drop it here.
I'd noticed Lucy's brother behind me earlier. While I was taking group shots, he was capturing a few photos with his iPhone of the groups I was taking. Now, to any other wedding photographer, this would really annoy them. And I've heard it in groups all the time. People stealing my photographs and all this rubbish. I really don't mind. I know my photographs aren't going to be ready immediately, and they want something tangible to show their friends and family. So when it came time for Lucy's brother to have his photo with his sister and his mum, I grabbed my iPhone and took him a quick shot so that I could then airdrop it to him later.
And then just give me a nudge later and I'll airdrop him to you, and then at least you don't have to wait ages for that sort of thing.
So that may seem like a really small incident, but straight away, like Lucy's brother was on side for the rest of the day then. I could ask him to do anything, you know, anything at all, ask him for support with anything. And it's just, I'm just winning over the crowd constantly with little moments like this, but then also filming it, I'm able to then show everyone else exactly what it's like being on the wedding day. So, and then just moments of more documentary stuff more so. I tend to not have as many of these as possible because when it comes to recording, you don't really know when these are going to go off. But yeah, this is just like a natural moment led out of the ceremony as such. But yeah, I always do this little bit of encouragement when I'm like, please hug the couple, because I think people want to stand off quite a lot of the time.
Get in for a hug if you want a hug.
When couples get this moment on their wedding day, I am absolutely overjoyed for them. You see, this doesn't happen at every wedding day. Sometimes the weather or the scenario where we end up in after the ceremony will just not lend itself to this naturally unfolding. The reason I love this moment so much is that it can never be recreated throughout a wedding day. This can only happen at one time, and that is straight after the wedding ceremony, when everyone is super hyped up and just wants to compliment you, hug you, kiss you, and just show all their affection in such a physical way, which lends itself so well to being photographed. So if you want loads of natural, candid photographs on your wedding day, then leave that moment after your wedding ceremony completely free. Don't go running off to no field for no photo shoot, don't start arranging family photographs, and don't do confetti just yet. Leave everything to unfold naturally and just get great photographs from it.
This also falls under what I like to call educating the couple, which is a massive, important thing when it comes to social media. So, I mean, we'll talk about more about this later, but often I find that when like people I'm mentoring or people I'm helping, when they're doing weddings and they come into trouble, it's normally because they book a couple, forget about them, and then shoot their wedding. So they're not guiding them in a certain direction along that path, whether it's through like wedding guides, showing behind the scenes videos like this, or showing other stuff on Instagram. This really helps because then on the wedding day, when I come round to the couple and I say, hey, let's leave that bit after your ceremony free, and they're saying, oh, but the venue want us to do confetti straight away. And I'm like, well, this is how it will affect your day, and I can just show them a video, and they opt for this every time. So this is where we see if technology works and is in favor of me as I stream the connection of the Insta360 through the laptop. So let's see if this works. So you get a fun little Windows 95 GIF there for while I sort it out. All seems to be going well. Bear with me, we're almost there. It's worth the payoff, I promise you. You have no idea how relieved I am that that's worked. So, I edit all the behind the scenes footage through the Insta360 app. So all of these little circles here are all 360 videos that I've captured. So you can see here. So this at the top here, this is a wedding I shot on Friday. I've not even touched them yet. And then if we come down here, this is an engagement shoot I did recently. And then if we come down here, this is the wedding I was just showing you with the couple running. So I'm just going to go straight in. So this is confetti. So it's a couple are leaving. So straight away, I can pick any, oh, lovely little bit of receding hairline there for me, great. But straight away, I can pick any part of the scene to capture. So you can see absolutely everything is captured. And you'll see down here, this is where the stitch happens between the two cameras. So you can see we don't actually lose too much, and it's not in a place where our eyes are necessarily focused, unless you're pixel peeping and having a look what like shutter speed I'm on and all those kind of things. But yeah, so the timeline along the bottom, that little yellow bottom, we're just going to add keyframes to where we want the camera to look. So for starting us off here, I'm just going to come along, and I'm just going to get to a point where we start doing the confetti. So probably about here. I'm just going to trim the whole clip down just by a second. Didn't really need to do that, but yeah, just so we can illustrate that. So that's trimmed it, like crop the clip down as such. So straight away, I'm going to add in a keyframe. I don't really want my forehead at the front here. It's like, so, you know, occupational hazard when you've got a head as big as mine. So yeah, we can zoom in slightly for that. We can use 2 fingers on the screen and do this as well. But yeah, you can see that yellow point there. That's where this little crosshair is going to focus. So as we move onwards, we can change that up. So we can bring it here, and now we can focus on someone at the side. I could maybe focus on there and zoom out as such. So now between those 2 keyframes there, this is going to move. It'll be our exported video as such now. Sorry for the delay on that. I'll play it faster so you can see. But yeah, you can see how it's just slowly turning round until it meets that other point where I put there. So if we see, if we're editing the behind the scenes footage and we see someone's going to like absolutely pelt them with confetti on the side there, we can focus in on them and then bring the attention back to the middle. And we can do that much quicker by just adding a keyframe quickly afterwards. We can zoom it back in if we want to, come up to there. And then now when it plays through, it'll be playing down there, focuses on that side guy, pretend he throws a big pile of confetti as such, and then we're back in on the middle as such. And then we're coming all the way down. I'm going to keep adding these little keyframes to the bottom here so it stays in this place. And then now you'll notice a couple have kind of gone off to the side. And there's a lady with these. So I kind of want to capture, just because I want to like show off the venue. So I'm going to use that as my last frame, focusing forward there. And then after here now, I'm going to switch it round and show Erica here, this venue owner, giving the drinks over. And then we can go around there like that. So that would probably be the end of the clip. We can then trim it right down, he says. And then that's our whole clip. And we can literally just export it from there, upload it as a reel, put some music behind it, and we've got a little video from behind the scenes of the wedding there. What's great about this is as well, so if I just come into my InShot now, so this is an app I use to edit. I do all this editing on my phone. I feel it's really important to keep everything on my phone, since it's going to be consumed on my phone. So when I'm looking at it, I know how it's going to look straight away. So I've got 127 drafts, as you can see here. As we come down here, I'm just going to try and select, oh no, not that one. Let's, I'm getting off-piste a little bit here. So let's go for this one. So you can see here, so I've taken the behind the scenes footage that I've captured at this venue here. Coming along the bottom, I've added some voiceover, which are those little clips there at the bottom. And then also, which is really important, is which photographers and everyone else really loves, is when I show the final photograph. So they can make that pop up here with a little bit of a picture-in-picture display there, which is really great. So yeah, it's super simple to get your head around. It just needs a bit of playing. It's unlike anything you've ever seen before, because it is that 360-degree view. But yeah, you can capture so much stuff on your wedding day just through the ease of having it in your hot shoe all the time. So we're going to come off there now. I can't believe how seamless that worked. So why bother? I kind of hear people say it all the time. They're like, oh, there's no point to it. I'm just going to illustrate some of the really positive points that come out of it. So different is really interesting. So when people are scrolling through Instagram and they're just seeing loads of landscape photographs or loads of carousels or loads of flash forward photographs, it's important that we stand out. Different is always going to grab more eyeballs. It's going to stop people in their tracks looking. The main thing I hear all the time in my social media help group is that, you know, people are not getting enough engagement or attraction towards their photographs, and that's because everybody can take great photographs these days. Maybe not incredible photographs, maybe not amazing photographs, but the barrier to entry is so much smaller than it's ever been. So we need to almost appear completely different or unique in a sea of what is very similar at the end of the day. So yeah, we can remove expectation and sell reality. This is a massive thing. So when couples come to book me, and people probably find this a lot, I know when I was thinking about having my wedding, and my wedding photographer is Adam, so wherever he's hiding, I don't know where he's gone, but yeah. If I was looking for a wedding photographer and I was looking at everyone's portfolios out there, they all look very similar, they all show amazing photographs, but how do I know that I'm going to get what that's showing? Like, how do I know that my expectation is going to be the reality of what comes in the end? And when you hear a lot of complaints in the industry, it is around this expectation versus reality. You know, I know a lot of wedding photographers don't show absolutely everything, you know, that they shoot as such. Every wedding, it might not fit their brand. That's all good. Don't worry about it. It's fine. No shade here. But, you know, are we selling the right expectation to those couples of what they're going to receive at the end of the day? So with the behind the scenes footage, we can show them exactly like what they're going to get and how we're going to have to be on the day to get that end product as such. So yeah, it really helps remove any fear of, oh, is Adam the right guy? Because they can clearly see that they're going to get on with me because there's a couple there that look exactly like them, and they can see that I'm not being a jackass. I think I can say that. And yeah, it's going to be a nice, easy process as such. So then I talked about it a bit earlier. So yeah, that bit between booking a wedding photographer and then actually shooting the wedding, like we just kind of let people roam off into the wild and do whatever they want. And then they come back to us and they want a heart-shaped group photograph. They want to do 25 smoke bombs and sparklers and so much confetti, and it's just overfilling their day. So yeah, this middle section here is where I do a lot of my work. So on the day, every wedding day I tend to shoot is really easy going. Everyone knows what to expect again. I know what to give, and quite often I turn up at a wedding day and I'll say, oh guys, could you just like walk down here, and I want you to walk really close and then walk quite far apart, and they'll go, oh yeah, like that video on your Instagram, and I'm like, exactly that, and that's quite scary that you know that. So yeah, that's a really important feature for me. And then yeah, it's not really my vibe as such, but if you want to, there's no reason why you couldn't sell the footage afterwards. I'm sure there's loads of couples out there that would pay you an extra £100, £200, £300, £400, £500 to get the raw footage off it. At the moment, if the couples want it, I'm sharing it with them for free. It's not really my vibe, like I say, but yeah, that option is out there to make vast amounts more money as such. But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. A little QR code there to my education page, where you'll find all my equipment list, information about my workshops, my free social media help group, and yeah, like socials all at the bottom. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Awesome, Adam. Anyone got any questions? Oh, come on. Yeah, I know I have. Yes.
Do couples ever say that they don't want? Do couples ever say that they don't want any behind the scenes footage shown?
So you're asking if couples are like, oh, please don't film me on my wedding day, basically. Is that what you... Yeah. Yeah, so there's I have clear and transparent conversations with my couples all the time. When they book, we talk a lot about honesty and making that transparency between our relationship. I say to my couples on the day, if they don't want, for example, me to be there, or they don't want any portraits for anymore, they're going to say to me, and we need to have that relationship moving forward. So when it comes to it, I'm actually guiding them through this, so I'll often talk to them. They see it all over my Instagram and all over my TikTok and things like that. I actually post more reels than I do actual pictures these days, so it's a full expectation from them. But like I said already, I'm giving a huge expectation of what they're going to get. They can see clearly, and then what I deliver in the end is exactly that as such. And if anything, my couples are asking me to film the behind the scenes. The other day, someone reached out to me, one of my brides from earlier in the year, and they really wanted, it was Father's Day, and I'd filmed the whole father-daughter kind of reveal. She's in a dress, you know what I mean? He walks in, oh my goodness, you're in a dress, amazing, give me a hug. So I got all that obviously on my camera. And normally, obviously, it's got like my voiceover going, yeah, so this is a really good wedding, yeah, and all that. And she doesn't want that, obviously, so I sent her across a raw video, and she showed him for Father's Day, and they had a little moment together as such. So yeah, you're able to like give them something as well as like take something from their wedding in terms of a marketing thing. Anyone else want to ask a question? Thank you so much.
Cheers, Adam Lowndes. Cheers, mate. Proper useful stuff, that. Like, I've been on the fence about doing BTS stuff for such a long time, and it's like, I want to do it, and then, but seeing people like you doing it inspires me, and maybe I'll give it a go, so thanks. But anyway, I'm Steve, by the way. I'm from FedWed, the Federation of Wedding Photographers and Filmmakers, partnering up with Graphistudio for all of the reasons behind you, all their amazing stuff, and that's why they've invited us to be here with them, so we're excited about that. But I just want to tell you a little tiny bit about FedWed. Obviously, we will be offering training, we will be offering mentoring and that kind of thing, but the business is built around networking, really. It's built about meeting new people. Adam and I, the founders of FedWed, we're big advocates of networking and just sort of completely saturating yourself within the industry. And I was actually on my phone before. I did a wedding at the weekend, and someone just tagged me in something, and now I can't find it. I probably won't now. Let me just get it up. But this guy just tagged me in something, and it just made me think I'll mention it, because he put a post on his Instagram just a few minutes ago, and he was talking about how he's been busy lately, but he just said, I had the pleasure of being part of a wedding team with such and such a videographer and myself and Adam. And he said, the longer I spend in the wedding industry, the more friends I make along the way. And I think that's just bloody lovely. And because we're building this around networking and meeting new people and creating events all over the UK, and we're not just doing like a conference once a year, which are great to attend also, but we want to come to you guys all over the UK and enable you to meet new people, get inspired by each other, make new friends, create new support. So I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Steve from FedWed. Please come and speak to us if you want throughout the day. We want to help you learn about your businesses, where you're from, what you're up to, and let's become friends. And at the end of each day, there'll be a Q&A session with all of the speakers from that day. So we'll have all the speakers up. You can ask them questions. We'll ask them questions. We'll get them talking, and have instead of just someone just talking to you, have a little bit of a two-way conversation and just hear some stories and some inspiration. So thank you so much. And the next talk will start in about 15 minutes. Thank you.